Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sonique and I have the latest edition of Total Tarot magazine, which came on, I think it was Christmas Eve, but I haven't had a chance to open it yet. You know, Christmas and everything, it's been so busy. So yeah, let's open it today. Okay, so we have part 78 and part 79, which is really interesting given the fact it was originally going to stop at issue 78. So I don't know how this tarot deck would have worked because we've got two halves, one in 78, one in 79. So maybe there wouldn't have been this tarot deck at all. I'm not sure. This is the Sorcerers tarot. I'm not familiar with this deck. So yeah, let me just take the magazines out and we'll have a look. Okay, so we've got the two halves of the tarot deck. That looks really interesting, isn't it? Wow. And the box, the top box. That one looks okay. A couple of them have been a little damaged, I've found. This looks really interesting tarot deck. And yeah, parts 78 and parts 79. So as usual, what I'll do is we'll look at the tarot deck first and then we'll look at the magazines. Okay, so let's have a look at the deck. Oh, look at that form. By the way, these are the backs. Isn't that beautiful? Fully reversible. And we start with the Fool, of course. What an amazing Fool. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. We've got a patch on his bag, but he does look very, maniacal, if you like. Maniacal? I can't say that word. Well, you know what I mean. There's some books here. Is this some paste? Are they gluing the books together? Very, it's a watercolour deck, isn't it? Magician. We have the tools. Beautiful watercolours. We've got like the lemniscate is on the cape here. High Priestess has a squirrel. Strange robe. Oh, the Empress. So the Venus heart that we see on the shield now. The Empress is actually holding that shield. And their background looks a lot more lush than the High Priestess. This one looks a lot, a winter scene, whereas this looks more spring or summer or, more lush anyway. In keeping with an Empress energy. And then we've got this fiery background energy here for the Emperor. It's very apt. Hierophant. Very stern face. Our Lovers. So we've got a knight in shining armour here. A naked woman. Beseeching almost. In a supplicant position here, and we've got a snake as well. So is this something to do with the Garden of Eden? And I don't know. It's a strange image. Oh, I like this chariot. There's a lot of strength in that. It's almost like, the conical witch's hat, but also sort of a Roman chariot here, pulled by an eagle, which is a Roman symbol, isn't it, of strength. So we've got justice as, at 8, not at 11. So strength will be at 11 instead of 8. And we've got the scales here hanging off a tree trunk. We've got the sword is actually pointing down into the earth, and then we have this sort of balancing energy here with these orbs. The Hermit actually looks like a monk of some kind. Fortune. Oh, it almost looks like they're trying to control fate here. And we've got, look, Latin words. And we have the sun, the moon, anima spiritus. We've got astrological signs as well on the spokes here of this solar image. Notice also these cards have numbers, but they don't have the names in the major arcana. So here we have strength, which is quite a challenging image actually. So I can see the cup, the wand, the sword. I don't see a pentacle. But this is a winged, I can see the wings here. This is a winged, I don't know, it looks sort of like a crocodile or an alligator or something with wings. Hanged man is hanging around with bats, and I'm not quite sure what this is here. Okay, so the death card with time, an hourglass there depicting time running out. We've got a green glove here. I wonder who that belonged to. A very wintry, snowy landscape. Temperance. Snowdrops. Oh, pan for the devil card. Oh, tower's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the tower is intact and it doesn't seem to be in any sort of danger of collapsing at all. It seems quite a solid structure there. And we've got an owl. Yeah, so no lightning bolt or anything. The star. This is like the Art Nouveau tarot, isn't it? Even looking at this box here, it's very much like that Art Nouveau tarot we've had before. Can't remember what issue that was in, but I've got a full playlist below of all the Total Tarot magazine decks, so it'll be in there. And we have the moon card. This looks like a moon priestess. Cold image, yes, and the sun is a very warm image. And we've got the feminine and masculine associations with the sun and the moon there. That's an interesting judgment card. And then the world. Beautiful. Okay, so we're on to minor arcana now. So we're drinking from the cup. So this is interesting. So instead of like a male-female energy coming together on the same wavelength or the same plane, here we've got a mirror image. We're looking at a maiden here, looking at themselves in the mirror. What's this? There's a little figure down there. Oh, and there. All in the background. Ooh. So we've got the three maidens on the Three of Cups. So the Four of Cups is quite different, isn't it, to a Rider-Waite-Smith sort of image. So here we don't want to hear whatever is attacking us, but we see sort of a defensive, aggressive animal here. Don't come near. Yeah, okay. So the Five of Cups, I don't see any spilled cups in this one, but just a fed up little boy. Who's totally fed up. Doesn't want to do the studying, I think. Six of Cups. Oh, look at this little infant coming out of a shell there. The little antennae. So it looks like we're having lessons here. Oh, look at these snails. Isn't that brilliant? Those snails. The Seven of Cups. So again, we've got these sort of gremlins in the background here. Eight. Putting the work in there. Concentrating. Nine. So we've got this Fae energy again, because we look at the ears there. And the 10, which is an angel. In the 10 of Cups. That's an interesting one as well. Okay. Page of Cups. We've got a little toad or a little frog at the bottom there. A page. The knight is on an owl. It's like sort of griffins in the background here. Oh, and the bottom there must be to signify that this is the knight, and that is the page. So the queen has this sort of star here. No water. Yeah, the king's got a son. Okay, so those are the glyphs that tell us the hierarchy in the court cards. I've got some runes there on that cup. Rune energy. Okay, what do we have next? We have pentacles. Oh, and that's the image off the front of the box there. The Ouroboros. Salamanders or newts. Two pentacles. So we're tipping red liquid here, but I don't quite know what's going on here. Some sort of concoction going on. Oh, look, there's blood coming out the mouth as well. So we're stirring some sort of a recipe here in this cauldron. Look at this little mouse or rat or whatever it is, and the three. Oh, and we've got lots of little symbols here as well, and that hourglass, a jar, the books. So making something from different ingredients. The Four. We're usually holding on to things, aren't we, in the Four of Pentacles that no longer really need to be held on to. This definitely is like that Art Nouveau. Look, even the hair. Oh, very constrained in the Five of Pentacles. We're not outside a church or anything here, but bound and chained. 6, we're kissing a frog. Magic wand. So is this the princess trying to find a prince? 7. Oh, a lot of cat energy here. The 7 of Pentacles. 8. Practicing the craft. Got the bats. The 9, self-sufficient lady here. Very barren landscape there. And the 10, so yeah, lots of energy going on here in the 10 of Pentacles. Lots of power. Page, so yeah, we've got that identifying symbol. So yeah, we've got a rune there as well. Did we have a rune on this one? Can't see one. The knight. Yep, the griffin. So yeah, we've got another knight riding a creature here. I wonder if that's the same in the whole of the deck. I might actually have a look and see. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, out of curiosity, is look at the court cards together, and then I'll carry on with the rest of the deck. So let's do that. So that's, yeah, so they've all got this sort of frog or toad at the bottom here. These two have got these sort of statuesque things going on. Look at the knights. Yeah, very similar, aren't they? Mythical creatures. Queens. So they all have this border on the edges here. None of them seated, but with their element. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's quite violent, doesn't it? And the kings. Let's look at the kings. Again, we have these two seated, but these two standing. And they all look quite older individuals as well. This one has this roaring lion on their chest, and each holding the emblem of their suit. So the cup, pentacle. Oh, that's interesting on the pentacle as well. It looks quite Roman. And we have the wands here and the sword. Oh. And this is the sun image on each of the kings. And the queen has this sort of star image. Yeah, it's like a star there for the queens. That's interesting. I do like to do that just to see the differences and similarities between each. So let's look at the one suit next, and then we'll look at the swords. There we go, there's the ace, which is sort of reminding me of that 6 of cups. Yeah, it's reminding me of that little boy there. It's a little bit different, but yeah, it's sort of reminding me of that. 2. So instead of having the world in our hands, we've got this globe, but yeah, still a globe. 3. Growth of the mind. 4. Again, we've got this Fey energy. Oh, so we have 2 centaurs arguing here on the 5. Look at this image as well. It's a beautiful deck, isn't it? 6. Okay, on a broomstick. 7. Again, we've got this indication of time being of the essence. 8. And so this tree has a face, and we're controlling this element here as well. 8 of Wands. Actually, that's usually when we're going very fast, isn't it? Okay, 9. Oh, so we have a potion here, and either the human is becoming a tree or the tree is becoming human. I'm not quite sure which way that's going. And then we have the 10 of Wands. All these different owls. Okay, let's look at the sword suits. So we've already looked at the court cards, so I'll just go through the 1 to 10. So the Ace of Swords, 2, 3, 4. Demon under the bed. The 5, again controlling that element, like we saw it in the 8 of Wands. 6, praying. It's like that hermit, but now that hermit's praying. And lots of different sort of animals around them. 7. This Medusa type image for the 7 of Swords here. 8. Still confined, this time by ivy. And so our nightmare card now is an attack. Oh, so the 10 isn't, yeah, this is a human sacrifice, isn't it? Oh dear, very strange images here. So we've got different genders and we've got different age ranges in the aces, which is brilliant. And each of them has the suit emblem at the bottom as well as at the top. And they both have this like disc in the background. So we've got 2 really youngsters here. What looks like a teenager and an older man. So that's interesting for me. I'm not going to say anything now. I'm just going to go through the first 10 cards of each suit, just look at them side by side and see the differences and similarities, because I do like to do that, so I might as well do it while we're on camera. And have a chance to look at them too and see the energy of the numbers as well. concentration here in the eights. And finally, the tens. It's interesting how the female figures look as if they're in some sort of trouble or fear, whereas the males are very powerful in these tens. Anyway, that's me just looking a little bit deeper on camera. This was something I would normally do off camera. And look at them like that, which is something I love doing actually. So let's have a look at the magazines. So issue 78. So we've got the star image on the front there. And we have a contents page. The first article, let's move this out of the way so we can look at the magazine. First article, bringing tarot to life. So being passionate about the tarot. There's a quote here from Kim Huggins, which Kim Huggins is brilliant. So this is a deck that we've had before. This is Eric C. Dunn's artwork. So this would be, yes, Tarot Apocalypsis, which we've already had. So finding your own voice, I think it's on about there. Contributing to the overall expression. Removing the fear of not knowing. Building confidence, finding your voice, and then we have different cards here depicting the voice. Okay, so if it was the Ace of Cups, the tarot voice is one of compassion and kindness, gaining confidence through reading for people, helping them, guiding them towards healing. My certainty comes from my deep wisdom and understanding of human emotions, so finding the elemental associations there. So the Princess of Wands will be powerful. Okay, now we're on to numbers. Okay, so we've gone through each suit, haven't we, in the other issues, and now we're going to numbers because we're starting a new series here. So we start with the number 1, and it's being depicted in the Tarot de Marseille. So this is how it's going to be laid out. And this is it laid out. So we've got a large image of the Ace of Pentacles here. And then all about the number 1. Some keywords, where it fits into numerological aspects, geometry and the Kabbalah, so the tree of life. Okay. It says the number 1 links to 7 cards. Does it? I wouldn't. Okay, so personally, I condense the numbers down. So a number 10 would be a number 1 because it's 1 and 0. So I would include the number 10 card, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which I'm not seeing here. Definitely the Magician, but I wouldn't have said card 11. This is Strength in the Marseille, but I think because this is showing Marseille cards, it's quite possible that in the Marseille tradition, which I haven't studied, they do it this way. So yeah, that's the difference between the way they're doing it here, depicting it here, and the way I would do it. So I would align the ace to all the aces of each suit. So the Swords, the Pentacle, the Wands, and the Cups. But I wouldn't do it with the World, and they've done it because the last numeral there is a 1, and the last numeral there is a 1 as well, so that's why they've done it that way. But it's not the way I would depict it myself or assign it myself. So geometry points, so we've got a single dot in a circle. On the Tree of Life, it's Keter. And all about that. Then we have a spread called the Magician Spread, a 6-card spread using all the deck to reflect on the situation from different, even contradictory points of view, and it tells you the layout here and shows it here, the background to it, the placement of it, these card position meanings. So card position 6 is what you need to do here, synthesis of it. And then we're talking about the Sorcerers Tarot. So this is a deck that allows us to enter into magical world. Oh, Antonella Castelli in 2005. It's a deck from 2005, and yeah, Antonella Castelli is the same artist as the Art Nouveau Tarot, isn't it? Asking questions, so as an exercise for advanced readers to ask questions. And we've got some meanings for major arcana cards here. So let's have a little look at some. Okay, so Hanged Man. Trial, difficult moment to overcome. Test, obstacle, risk, change in perception, certainties that shatter, desire to change. Okay. Oh. Let's have a look at another one. Shall we have a look at the High Priestess? Knowledge, listening to the wind. Secrets, responses, solutions, looking inward, thinking. Alrighty. So with this tower, secrets, narrow-mindedness, keeping things to oneself, creating obstacles, defending oneself, fear of the external, reservedness, prudence and caution. I suppose I see there because it's a protective depiction, isn't it? You know, behind walls there, feeling safe from intruders. So that's a little taster of the meanings of the major arcana. Some more of the background to the deck. And so we've got for beginners there, whereas we had... So, okay, so it was for advanced readers there and for beginners here. Okay, so a magical world. Magic comes from humans. Magic develops in harmony. Magic transforms the person. Sense of wonder. So let's have a little look at some minor arcana cards. What shall we look at? Let's look at this Three of Wands. Wait, patience, having sowed and waiting for fruit. Trips of the mind. Trips of the mind? Unique adventures. That's interesting. Trips of the mind. Okay. We have here the King of Wands. Master, leadership, the responsibilities of many, favouring the common good, even if detrimental to the welfare of individuals. Eight of Cups. Application, perfectionism, not being satisfied, controlling, dedicating oneself to the details, giving importance to the little things. Eight of Swords. Imprisonment, feeling inhibited or stifled, suffocating love, ideas that aren't able to be expressed. Five of Pentacles. Nudity, lack, poverty, vulnerability, feeling at the mercy of things, shattered, protection, masks torn away. Oh, okay. So yeah, there's a little taste of the card meanings there. And then we've got a visual depiction of the whole of the majors, if you want to see them together, which I think is very useful. Practice makes perfect, so where to go in the magazine for the articles. And then let's look at the next one, part 79. Okay. So again, table of contents. This is the second part of that article, and we've got the same deck as well, Tarot Apocalypsis, to illustrate it. Finding the keys to a reading, mental blocks, counting. Oh, okay. Well, so ways to approach a reading if you get a mental block. So you could do it by looking how many major cards there are, looking how many court cards there are, how many of each suit, that sort of thing, to inform the reading. Okay, so we have now the number 2. The number 2 in the Tarot de Marseille always has this sort of image where we've got the name of the publisher on there, the date it was made as well. That's interesting. So the number 2 links 6 tarot cards according to this article. So we've got the 2s of each suit, And here it's going with the Hanged Man and the High Priestess. So I'd agree with the High Priestess. I would not agree with the Hanged Man in the system that I use, which is Rider-Waite-Smith. I think this is where it gets a bit confusing, these articles, because this way of doing it numerologically is the Tarot de Marseille's version. Anyway, so here we have the number 2, and this is where we connect to another number 1. So 1 and 1 is a connection between the 1 and 1 to make 2. And then we have the position on the Tree of Life and how that relates to Hopma. We have the second part of that spread giving an example of a layout of that Magician's Dynamic spread. And all about that, yes. Same card in different positions. Oh, they had an article like this before when they kept moving the cards around, which I was, not comfortable with, shall we say. The Fade Tarot. I love this deck. I worked with it for a whole month and I bought the guidebook that went alongside it, and it was amazing and added so much depth to this deck. Highly recommend the guidebook that goes with that deck. So what's it? Sacrifice and Tarot. First part of an article here. What's this about? So it's looking at what a querent needs to sacrifice according to different cards that are drawn. That's interesting. Okay, what do they need to give up? Apparently. So a second part of an article on mythological tarot. So we've got some examples from different decks here. And we have here the Visconti Sforzi. So it's Yoruba mythology, Greeks and Romans. Okay. Where to go in the magazine to find these articles? Visual reference to the Minor Arcana. And then a sneak peek of what's coming in our next issue. So we've obviously got number 3 in the next one and number 4 in the one afterwards. We are collecting Tarot of the 1001 Nights, which is a deck I'm not familiar with. And the article's more about bringing tarot to life and more on sacrifice and tarot. Okay, so that's what we get in parts 78 and 79 with the Sorcerers Tarot. Very interesting deck, which I think would be great for storytelling, and I think that's possibly a way of using it. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, I hope everybody had a great holiday, and yeah, bye for now. Bye friends, bye.